All righty. All right. All right. All right. All right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Come again on this Devil platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely, lovely Sunday in which the Most High Yah has made, and I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. Just coming with a little something, something. It all coming together within me. I'm speaking of understanding why it is over. You know, it's finished. It's as time go on and things begin to happen, and I begin to behold things that has been here present. Yet I'm seeing it for the first time, but understanding it as I understand the Ruach that lives within me and how it has He, the Most High Yah in me, has taught me and have shown me things. And I myself was trying to wait and see why is it things are taking place in a way that it is taking place where many cannot see it, many cannot behold it. But what I now understand is something I said the other day, which I knew flew over many heads. I knew without a doubt. Uh, Being so, it's almost like revelation prophecies are taking place right before our very eyes. But it's coming in a different way. It's coming the way somewhat of what is said, but it's coming from a total different direction. And I wondered about that. And I now understand why things is the way that it is as far as being over and finished. Because there's things that we are continuing to bypass that's looking us dead in our face, right before our eyes. And because there's so much darkness that we detach ourselves to where we don't want and we reject seeing any type of light that will give us a better understanding of the day that we are in. You see what I'm saying? So earlier today, I was looking at a video from Stefan Derby. I think that's his name. You know, he has passed away. And as I was looking at his video, before I really got really rooted in it, I thought of his wife that sits in the corner there. There is something about her that my spirit don't trust. It's something about Stefan Derby wife that my spirit didn't trust. So it began to say within me that she is a liar. Okay. And I began to wonder when I kind of felt that when I discerned her eyes years ago. I'm not a Stephen Derby YouTuber, meaning I haven't subscribed to his page, nor was I invested in anything he was teaching and he was saying. But there are times where I have listened to his videos since his passing, and it is food for the spirit. You know how you go out somewhere and say, for instance, you order some food at a restaurant and it looks good on the menu, but when you get it, it just don't look the same. When that's how I measure many on this devil platforms, and not just this YouTube, but all of them. They appear to be, but with the gift that he has embedded within me for my journey is able to shoot and cut straight into it. Sometimes it's not as instant, but with her, I felt that regarding her, one that cannot be trusted. once before, and this was years ago. I just didn't, something about her just wasn't right. Could I say what it was? If my spirit is not settled about individuals, you best bet, don't think I don't know that you are someone that's not of the same spirit that I am. He didn't give me this gift to go and announce it and say, oh, okay, you no, because you don't have to, because that spirit knows already to whom it is. You see, so the calling that came with the gift, I mean, the gift came with the calling, the purpose that he has called me to, but it's not a gift to go and give those that are not of the same spirit clarification or identification who they are. It's for you to be able to know who you're dealing with. Okay. So I always felt that about her when I have listened to him several times. I did not understand why I felt that, but I can say today for sure that she is someone that I would not trust. She is an individual that I would not trust. So my question was, that's probably why this individual has put a lot of patent on his videos in a way that she is to gain from his videos, or keeping individuals from pulling words that he says or things that he says, and they apply to their videos to talk about or discuss when she has uh, 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 some sort of patent or some sort of something on it, and it makes sense. It makes sense why I wouldn't trust her. It ain't something she did to me. This is a spiritual thing in which I speak it. So as I was tuning in to his video, and it was about the CERN, CERN. He gave a pretty good, pretty good, because it's on one accord with what I think and what it has been given unto me. But there's something that was deeper that the Father shown me, is that not only was he talking what he knew, they knew he had moved really, really close to where he did not have that many people following him, you guys. But yet he was close, so close to what all they were doing. And if he would have been here any longer, any time longer, it would have still turned out the same way that it did, that he died. An instant when that came before me, I began to think about his wife. I say now, she was so quick and instant to say there was no foul play and there was no someone killed my husband. Why was it so in her, so eager to make that announcement? And it made everybody back away when she knew. Mm, 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 mm. This is what I'm hearing from the Most High. She knew all the time what it was. She knew. She knew that he did not pass away for the things in which she could say that he has passed away from. She knew. And that's the moment I gripped that today. I said, well, see, that's also the reason why I never had a good feeling about her father. I never did. Even when he was alive, I never had a good feeling about her. Now, did I listen to him? I say give or take 3 times when he was alive, but she was always up there. But it was a feeling I had about her that was not right. Okay. So it spoke to me, the inner, my inner man, the spirit of the Ruach said she knew. And I'm like, knew what? What I knew she knew? Yes, she knew. And I'm saying what I knew she knew? is that he did not die of the cause in which he wanted everybody in the world to believe. It's impossible. It is impossible for someone to have spoke on CERN, CERN, the way that he broke it down, and several other videos. It's impossible for them to be able to go that deep and lose their lives at a blink of an eye. Can they? Can I? Yes, I can. But he took it so deep where nobody, like somebody like me, come along. It's no way I can get lost. It's no way. It's no way I can get lost in that. It's no way. All I can do is connect the light to what he's saying, to what was already said unto me and taught to me. Start connecting the pieces. And as I listened to him for that whole, I think, hour and 25 minutes today, it brought so much confirmation that was already resting within me. And at that moment, I said to the Most High Yah, I said, this is it. This really is it. This is why it is finished. This is why it's over. See, he came as one like unto a prophet, and he left out like unto one of a prophet. This is how they do. They take their lives. You think they taking their lives because they're melanated? You think they taking their lives because they found out that they awakened? You think they taking their lives because, they ain't got nothing to, no, truth. The truth at its high, one, not at its highest, at one of the highest level. To where if he would have lived even longer, he would still be speaking more than what he said in that video. And if he was living, how can he live being able to touch that type of realm of truth, of what is actually taking place? Now, what do you mean, Deborah? He was speaking of the truth that is in the world, and it telling on the world and telling in the spirit. He was speaking both of them in this video, to where when I get in it, I'm like saying, so I spoke on that, but also I was limited. You see, the way he spoke it, was saying it back then, it was 9 years. I'm like saying, wait a minute, though, Father, that's the way I understand it today. You see what I'm saying? So what I believe is, ain't no believe to it. The truth of the whole matter is likened to all the other prophets, not the prophetess, but the other prophets left out of here, speaking high level of truth. High level of truth. It's the same way. The same way. And the thing that he was saying was his wife knew. I said, I always knew she knew. I always knew. Because the moment this man passed away, it was more important to her that she makes statements telling everybody on these platforms, oh, it was natural cause. Nobody didn't do anything to my husband. I'm like saying, wait a minute. A woman that is married to a man with this type of spiritual calling, last thing you should be is humble till you piece yourself together. Why are you out here making sure the world understand? Ain't nobody done nothing to my husband. I couldn't, that piece didn't fit with me. So what I'm learning is the sharpness of what Yah has invested within me is as sharp as I know that it is. I think that it is. I feel that it is, because it's a different kind of sharpness. Okay. It's a way to be able to see things for what it is, but yet stand back and behold it and keep it going. You see, because this individual, when he broke that CERN down, I was like, okay, He knew more than I knew, but I knew more than he knew. You see what I'm saying? So him knowing more than I knew, and me knowing more than he knew, it balanced us off as oneness. You see, he broke it down in the sense of how the world has set it up. Beautiful. See, I break it down more so how the spirit of Yah has given it to me to see inside. He's given it the way the spirit has given it to him to see it in the inside and in the outside and bring it to the fullness of why it's like this on the outside and why it's like this on the inside. But wait a minute, somebody in the inside doing the work. That's what he was doing. He was saying, in spite of, just like I was saying to y'all a day or two, how it's something's going on. Something deeply is going on. Something is deeply going on. Even though I know that the Father created the two, and everything has to be done in the way that he has orchestrated, whether it be good or whether it be evil. I do know that. I understand that. But the way he was breaking it down is exactly the way I spoke to you all a day or two ago about it seems something is strange. Something, and I told y'all something has been let loose and something is strange. Even when I say to y'all, y'all don't see this? All this going on and nobody says nothing, nobody doing it. What he was saying is, even though they're doing all this and all the ability they have, it's still telling you it in Revelation. You see, just as I was wondering, I'm looking at situations and looking over here on the right side, looking over here at the left side. Wait a minute, hold up, right side. Hold up, right side. Look like you're doing something over yonder. Then you get confused. I did. I got confused because I'm trying to figure out, well, wait a minute. We got the left and the right. Well, wait a minute, the right look like you're doing something over here in the left. So even though Revelation is, I'm going to show you how I told you, even though Revelation is speaking it, and how it tells you the keys to the kingdom, no, the angel was sent down to the bottomless pit. You have to be able in the spirit realm to connect heaven's suffering the bottomless pit to be open with a key from the kingdom. So this is what I was explaining to you all the other day, that it's a strange thing going on with that. It doesn't, it's like, and I told you he didn't give me the fullness of things. And it's like, because when you see this angel being sent to the bottomless pit to unleash something, and then you see the world doing things like unto what is going on to the bottomless pit. I know what it was. It was talking about Trump. That's what I was talking to you about. I was talking to you all about, look like the world is trying to mimic the prophecies. Now, hear me now, y'all. This is something very powerful. Look like the world is trying to mimic the prophecy. And I was saying to you, I have a problem with them trying to mimic it and portray it like it is written. And then somebody, I think his name was James, pulled up Revelation chapter 13, and I think verse 3, giving the example to what it says in Revelation chapter 13, I believe, in verse 3, versus what is actually happening that happened to Donald Trump. In me, I, as an individual, I just could not piece their piece with Revelation piece. I wouldn't piece them together, because I'm looking at it and saying they trying to mimic it on the left what the right got prophesied. They're trying to mimic on the left what the right got prophesied. That confused me. because I was thinking that the world is trying to take out what is said in prophecy and mimic it to throw the people off and think that these are the prophecy. That's what I got tied up in the other day when I was speaking to you all. You can probably go back to that video. I don't know where you can find it. I think it's the second video from this one. No, the third video from this one. But I was speaking of understanding how the world can't nail it. They can't nail what is said in the prophecy of Revelation. So I battle with the fact that they just out here trying to mimic it like they did all the movies. They can't nail the movies, but they can come close as possible to what is taking place, in the prophecy. It is because they steal it from the prophecy. You see, so I think. So with Stefan Durbin, he was saying with CERN, you have to keep it in line. No, he didn't say you have to keep it. He was saying pretty much what I was thrown off by. The world trying to mimic the prophecies in Revelation and portray that, hey, this is it. Here it is right here. Just as that bio thing that came. Everybody's looking at receiving the mark and so on. We look at all kind of ways in which we're assuming that it's coming. And a lot of these things have already taken place somewhat. You see? So what he was saying about CERN 9 years ago, just think now, y'all, is exactly the way Sister Deborah, take on it the way I see it today. But I also see it in the way they're trying to mimic Revelation. But then when you get to Proverbs 16 and verse 4, it is said, I created evil and wicked for the day of evil and wicked. So it going right back in the hand of who? The Creator. So when if we can take the prophecies and we can see exactly that, okay, in the prophecies, we got to come out of it as a spiritual thing and see it in the natural realm. Because that's the way evil is going to be able to portray the end times, is through natural, not so much as hidden spiritual. You get what I'm saying? Not so much as hidden spiritual. So this is the reason why they are out here, in my mindset, mimicking what the prophecy is saying. And based on Stefan Durbin, he brought it from the beginning when they start creating this thing to where it is. I would say it is in the end, because I can fully understand where they're coming from with it now. It's still something that they're down there opening. They're still getting a chance to open up portals to release something just as it is written in Revelation. Different things coming out of the pit. Even the beast that's coming out to finally destroy it. Woo, Father, I see where you're going with this here. The beast that's going to come out of the bottomless pit. Nobody could do anything with the two prophets. Nobody could do anything with them. They had this mighty power. The whole world was afraid of them. But that came from out of the bottomless pit took them down. And now, wait a minute now. What was it with these two witnesses? That they can rain down fire. They had the power. But yet, it took something down in the bottomless pit to be allowed to come up to destroy the two prophets, the two witnesses. You see? That's pretty much what I'm saying. So it's almost letting you know that even though the two witnesses went on Yah's time, they got to be destroyed on Yah's time too. And how are they being destroyed? The portal that they have created, they are being allowed to go down deeper as Yah has allowed and has allowed it to be pretty much in his will. But I'm looking at it as a spiritual thing, and I'm waiting for the spiritual scenery of that which is said and spoke of, things coming out of the bottomless pit. But he using the natural, you guys. Let me show you another one. I'm just telling you, these are the parts that I'm clicking into. Now, another one was, I might get in trouble because my mind just went totally blank. Another one was, it went totally blank. Oh, you remember the angels back in Noah time? If it's going to be like the days of Noah, then that's the only thing we're missing. It's the angels that was the angels that was they weren't fallen angels. They were sons of Yah that got with the daughters of man, which is the plan of men. That's what it's all about, because they didn't just get with them without paying the price. Okay, so the angels were the sons of Yah, and they got with what you would call wicked and evil, out of the order in which they should not have. And when they did that, they lost their way back to the kingdom. So they didn't come down falling. They were here as the sons of Yah. And they got detached to the plan of man, and the daughters of men detached themselves to them and began to try to live in a way that they wasn't assigned from the kingdom, even to the point where showing them the ways of the kingdom. That's how you know that they had a connection to the kingdom. They weren't fallen angels. They were connected to the kingdom. They came down here to represent the sons of Yah. So how are we going to get back to the days of Noah? I see a lot of it playing out right here today. But there's something missing. And that was the angels. The angels. So what happens? The portal that they are creating, they are releasing by the will of the Father angels right as I speak. So when Sister Deborah's pulling up and saying, y'all don't see these men killing each other, y'all don't see them doing this, y'all don't see everybody doing it, this is why you don't see it. Here it is in the year 2024, and man could not even see that the angels that got with the daughters of men were really men, were sons of Yah. Not fallen angels, they were sons of Yah. They didn't fall from anywhere. They were sons of Yah that got with. See, they lost their way back once they got with the sons, the daughters of man. They played the game of the flesh when they were assigned to be about the spirit of Yah. And that's how they lost their way back, going up and going to up and down, is when they got with woman, the gameplay that man had with their daughters. That's really the truth of the whole matter. And the angels saw them to be fair and took on, and they decided to come into one unity to do wrong against who? Why was they coming to one to unity? Because they knew that if one wanted to do it and two and three, let's all do it. Truly, we all can't lose our eternal destiny. So we all come in it and do it in one. And in that same time, they trade over mysteries in the kingdom with the daughters of man. And they had children with them and also trained them to know the mystery or to do the things that heaven had as a mystery. And they began to produce out of now being not just, not righteous, but wicked and evil. When they did that, and then now they begin to bring forth monsters, giants. It's no different than today, where he says the children is the lineage of the fathers, and I will visit their wrongdoing and their wicked and evil 3 to 4 generations. He knows that it always come down that male bloodline. We can't stop it. We can't defeat it. We can't. But one thing we can do, if when you own that thing, then you walking in righteous. But when you run around here and you deny it and say, don't talk about it. Oh, no, no, no. That's a person that still walks in darkness, don't want to even behold what light is consist of. So when I think back in the days of Noah, and I think back in the days of Lot, we are pulling up on those days. And the reason why these angels, this time, they're not coming from the kingdom. Okay, they're not going to be the sons of Yah. They're coming from the portal. So this is why you're wondering why all this stuff is going on at the level of where things are happening. It's because they have opened up that portal, not to the full degree, and things have come out of that portal that's causing people to react the way that they are reacting today. That's why that portal is the key to the bottomless pit. And Yah allowed man to set wicked and evil up, because he is not wicked and evil. But he gave them the ability to go as far as they can go, so that what? His own will be done. It's just like Yeshua. They really thought they did something when they said, crucify him, crucify him. And they really thought they were doing something when they took him out. Baby, you weren't doing nothing but a favor to the Father. Because he had a mission to be taken out. And that's why Yah didn't want us to look at the whole idea of the crucifixion and the whole idea of what took place, because what took place, the truth be told, he laid his life down. The lamb was already slaughtered before the foundation of the world. That shows you they ain't done nothing. So you can crucify him all you want. That shows your heart. But the truth be told, heaven had him laid down already. The lamb had already been slaughtered. You get the point I'm making. So we can look at them and see how they beat him and thorns on his head and pierced him in his side. When you finish looking at all of that, we're looking at it in the natural sense. But in the spiritual sense, he turned around and said, nobody took my life. I laid it down. You get what I'm saying? That's where I'm going with this. And this makes it all finished, over. Now that which is running up into Revelation, and this might be the reason why many did not go into Revelation, because everything wasn't created for Revelation to bring forth all its things. It speaks of the trumpets. And this is when you go there and you look at Stephanie Dorby on CERN, CERN. A lot of things he's saying makes not gonna say 100%, makes a good 75% from what I can embrace truth, because it's pretty much similar to what I be thinking. And when I say I be thinking, is when I see something and something on TV and they talking about it, and all the pieces start trying to be put together, and I be like, what do they think they doing? But don't forget, Everything he did in Revelation had some connection to what? The bottomless pit. You see? And it shows you the connection to him giving the keys to an angel. Let me show you another one. Look at the one where I was asking you all, how do this sound? It doesn't make any sense. Watch this here. I'm going to show you another one where, oh, Father, yeah, I think I'm really understanding all of this. Another one was, I, as a prophetess, was confused because the way I can understand what I did understand and what I'm reading and what I'm feeling from the teaching. I'm like saying, but wait a minute, hold up. You mean all you son was one angel to take Satan to the bottomless pit? One chain and one angel? Come on now, he all that and some. No, he never was. It's what we made him. See, that's what I'm saying. We making these things, you guys, to be. But Yah has already prophesied things to be. But the way we're making it to be, like we made Satan to be all that powerful, everything is all Satan fault, Satan this, Satan that, Satan that. And he's already told you, no, baby, you your own worst enemy. When you stand before the Most High Yah in judgment, Satan ain't gonna be on your left, Satan ain't gonna be on your right. You're gonna be standing there alone. Then what happened to Satan? You think you're gonna be able to tell the Most High Yah, Satan did this and Satan did this, my mama did this, my dad? No. You're gonna be standing alone. Your own spirit is the only thing that's gonna be judged by Yah. And it ain't gonna be who gonna be on your left and he gonna be on your right, who's in front of you, who's in the back of you, who birthed you, who raised you. So when I sit back and I look at Satan being taken to the bottomless pit, I'm like, hold up. Don't that angel need some help? No, for what? Y'all got him big and blowed up, powerful and might. We done gave all this to Satan, and you mean you're gonna send one angel down to take him to the bottomless pit? And what he said, muzzle his mouth and chain him and seal him that he is not to return for 1,000 years, which he knows already. So where are we getting this stuff? You see what I'm saying? So even that did something to me. I think I did 2 videos about that. How is it that all it took was one angel from the heaven? Then it always talking about, I gave him the keys. Yah is always forever giving them the keys to the bottomless pit. And they are able to go down there and allow themselves to roam around and do what is said, what is prophesied that shall be done with no problem. You see? Same way with the 2 witnesses. When they come, they're gonna be bad. I mean, the world gonna be afraid of them. But who is this you gonna allow to come out the bottomless pit? It's gonna take them out at a blink of an eye. Who is that, Father? Yeah, we're seeing it in the way of the spirit realm. But we have to be able to see the spirit having the power to allow it to be set forth in the natural. That's what we're going to have to really see it to be. Because what I'm understanding is that it is finished. It's over. We're just seeing it played out. And a lot of it, we would want to see it in the spirit realm, but Yah is allowing it to be played out in the natural. Because the spirit prophesied it, and it's going to be shown up and shown out by that which is natural. You see what I'm saying? Let's say the 4 horses, same way. All those chaos that the 4 horses is doing, that's what we are experiencing. They left. See, another thing, I thought that the 4 horses, when the red horse go out, then he got to come back, and then another horse go out. The Father had told me almost a year ago, no, Deborah, when one go out, it's going to be another one behind it, another one, and they all going to remain out till the whole world has ended, till everything is over. See, I'm thinking that, okay, when one is for this reason, okay, you go out and famine and it's also, then you come back and no, no, no. He said that when they went out, they all went out together. They didn't go out together, but they all went out. They're not returning. It's like giving a prophecy and telling them, okay, the red horse, and when you finish doing that, come back. No, he said they're out there to stay. That's why the chaos and the things that's happening, the people are not looking at the prophecy in the way of the natural. This is why these things have hit the earth. And we're sitting waiting for the spiritual part of it to take place. And he said it's coming through the natural. He is the spirit of the prophecy, but it's going to come to the natural eyes to see, because that's who it's for. It's not for he that's in the spirit, it's for he that's not in the spirit. It's why these things are taking place. So they have to be able to see it in the natural. So don't wait on the prophecies in the spirit. Know that they have already taken its place in the natural, just like he has marked his in the forehead. So I'm looking at him marking his in the forehead, and you would think, I would think, I'm gonna say me, okay, you marking yours when they're gonna be the body of Hamashiach, and they're gonna have themselves together, they're gonna come together, they're gonna be able to clamor on top of one another, understand it, and come into unity. No, no. Just because they got my mark in their heads, that's to keep everything and every part of the prophecy for coming up on them. That's all, Deborah. See, it's keeping Satan and the world and everything else for coming and destroying them. That's why he told the other angels, hold back on the grass, the sea, and the trees until mines are marked, because nothing is allowed to touch the ones that are marked. You see what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, okay, you mark. You're supposed to be able to come into a oneness and understand, or you no, because it's still not over. It's to keep the prophecies from happening to them. You see what I'm saying? Because so many things are going to take place, and we're looking at it in the spirit realm, but he wants us to look at it in the spirit realm as to say that this is his right hand, but understand it's going to reveal itself in the natural. And that's what Dorby was doing. Stefan Dorby. He was breaking it down in the spirit and in the natural, letting you understand what it looks like in the natural. And he was out. You see what I'm saying? So as I listened to that, I said, it's no way he's going to escape that. It's no way what he said and how he broke it down, he's going to escape that. So for his, now I looked right back over there at his wife. I said, you knew all the time. She knew it all the time. It's no way. Because he gave us the both sides. He gave us both sides of it. So we'll know what it looked like in the natural. Because even with me, it helped me to understand that, see, you saying you see this, you see this, you see this, but it was already seen and spoken on. So it's not something you just going to see in the spirit. You're going to see it in the spirit, but you're going to behold it in the natural. So all that time you said, oh, something is happening, something been poured out, something that, it has. But you got to understand that it was done from the spirit realm to the natural. And that's why you're feeling it. That's why you could say something's changed, something is happening, or they doing this and they doing that. It's because the prophecy is in the spirit, but the beholding it, we must be able to behold it in the natural. So I thought that was pretty deep, him breaking that down, and it made a lot of spiritual sense. So I found what he was saying, natural and spiritual, but his breakdown in the natural, I believe, cost him his very life. And right here today, his wife got she got a heavy, hammer on his messages. You can listen to him all you want, but you can't take from the message any you can't expound or clamor on top, which is unjust for her to do that. And who would cause, what would be in her mind to think that his messages was so worth her putting a seal on it to keep people from really gripping what is actually what he was actually saying. It doesn't give her the right. She don't have the righteous, the just right to do that unless she's on the other side. You see what I'm saying? Unless she's on the other side, because you don't ever bind or do away with a message that he may give to keep others from teaching his message or clamming on top, because he got what he has. Then therefore somebody else y'all gave more to, because he's gone. So they can clam on top and then clam on top and clam on top. But she put a seal on it, so they can't move it from out of that area, as if it was all worth that. What would make a person do that? Because he did not have those type of, he had people listening to him, but he didn't have those numbers, you guys. He was just like Sister Deborah, but he had more numbers than I did, more subscribers, but he did not have the great numbers for her to put a lockdown on his videos like that. No, unless someone charged her to do just that, to keep anybody and everybody or anybody from really getting the spiritual side of how the natural inherit their abilities, because that's exactly what he was doing. He was giving you the spiritual side and how they were able to conquer it on the natural side. And then you go lock it up to where nobody can expound on it or use it as a study guide. You see what I'm saying? For her to have done that, to me, that shows me that she always knew that he did not leave here in a way of natural or sick or it was something else added to it. But she had to, I do understand you all, the way the powers that bees, and a lot of us keep giving that to Satan, but it's powers that bees that's down here, okay, that does the work of what you call wicked and evil. So if he said, I created the day of wicked and evil and wicked, why didn't he say, I created Satan for the days of evil and wicked? No, he's letting you know, we always try to step into him and control everything. Just like when I was a young girl, I knew that he had created other humans outside of Adam and Eve. They were the one he created, but I knew that let me tell you how deep I knew it. I knew that he created others after them, not just their children, other people after them. But guess what? I also knew that there were people before them, okay, in another time period. I always knew that. How? Through the Spirit did I know that. I knew that those people were destroyed in a sense. That's why he was asking them to replenish, as if something was here prior. So I believe that there was things here prior, you see. But I also believe that Adam and Eve were created, but after them, he continued to create. Cain wasn't going to a place to be a vagabond if there's not other people who's going to destroy him, that could destroy him. He wasn't talking about his sister. Someone's going to be after him. He's talking about the other entities that the Father had created. It was never just Adam and Eve. I knew that as a young person. You see? So I believe us even trying to limit him and say, okay, he didn't create anyone. Cain had his sister. He took his sister and had kids by his sister. See, we make all that up to make it fit what we believe in the natural. And that's why we can't see how the prophecies are being ran in the natural to see what was prophesied in the spirit. So I think that we as people really don't know that it is finished, and it is over. I mean, it's over and it's finished because heaven has wiped his hand with all things from what? The beginning to the end. That's what makes it over. It's finished. He's not coming to rechange it, reorchestrate it, because everything is going according to his will. Okay. So I believe that Darby, Stefan Darby, I think that's his name. I think he was really on something when he spoke of that, because it began to say, I was in high school and I was 16, I think I was, yeah. And it was going around in the high school about the construction workers had digged into a hole and they went so far down, they said they came back and said they heard voices of crying and yelling. And then they took a microphone down and they record the sounds. So that was back when I was 16. Okay. And during that same time, I had heard about what they was orchestrating in space, what type of things that they were creating in space. I heard that when I was around about 16 in high school. So there's times where they've been working on all of these things in which we're now today hearing about, not understanding that they had to have worked on this for years to get it to the level of where the prophecy has been prophesied for thousands of years or for hundreds of years, and yet here it is today. It's time for it to rumble. Why? Because all things are finished. All of it is finished. All the things that we're thinking we see in today, it was already orchestrated or allowed in the beginning. You see, so I'm understanding the deepness of it's being finished, it's over. Because when I see this CERN and I see what they're trying to do with it, it is off the chain. But then when I go into Revelation, I can kind of see how they are getting where they're going and how they reached where they have reached. It ain't because they are who they are. It's who Yah is, allowing them to reach a level to where his prophecies can come straight through. Because no one ever would preach and teach the idea that he sent one angel down to chain up Satan, to muzzle his mouth, to put a seal on him, to take him down to the bottomless pit. Now, wait a minute. You talking about the one that deceived the whole world? You talking about the one that everybody said he had a lot of angels with? Wait a minute. Hold up. One angel did that? Well, how is it he was able to do and have this power over the whole world and manipulate the whole world, and all it takes is one angel to take him down? It's because we're seeing it the way it's said, but looking at it in the spiritual realm, and it's going to be portrayed in the spirit realm when he's off the earth. I mean, it's said in the spirit realm, and it's going to take place in the natural when he's no longer on the earth, and people are not out here killing, stealing, robbing, and hurting one another, because now Satan is not on the earth. That's where you're gonna see and you're gonna feel this, where it's not gonna have someone chaotic, on the earth. But I also thought about, and the reason why you know that to be true is because Meganim and the whole world is not coming to the battlefield until Satan is let loose, and he goes to them to tell them, come on to the battlefield. See, they ain't even got sense enough to come to the battlefield. Satan has to deceive them. So when he comes back after the 1,000 years, he knows his next step is to deceive all the world to come to the battlefield. And they going thinking that they're going to win because they are as the sand of the sea now. That means many. And they just know without a doubt we're going to win. And no one gives Yah the glory. Nobody gives him the honor and the praise. He said he's going to drop fire and destroy them all. So where's the fight? Where's the war? You see? Why are we making people think that the world and Satan and Mega and Russia and China and the fake ooze and everybody got the power of Yah over y'all. No, you don't. You never had it. It's going back to also making you stay in the spirit realm of understanding things, because that's where you're gonna fully understand it, in the spiritual realm. Even though, like I tell y'all, but I'm flesh, y'all. I say I'm flesh and I can feel this thing. And I say that all the time. That's because I'm flesh and I'm still feeling this thing. It's because it was meant for those of Yah's belonging to him to not just be in the spiritual realm, but to feel that thing in the natural, so that you can prophesy on, not so much a prophesy against what was said, but you can speak of what it has been said, because you can feel it. And that's when you hear Sister Deborah constantly telling y'all that I can feel that thing. Oh, I'm flesh. You know, this is the reason why. It's because Yah's elect is not just to know it in the spirit realm. They have to speak on that which was given to them in the spirit realm. They have to speak on what they feeling right here today in the natural, of what they've been shown in the spirit, and they can vouch for it, salute it, say, yeah, I know that to be true because I can feel that thing. That thing is real. You see? And then even in the midst of it, you get real confused, because you like, well, won't you do something about this? Wait a minute, you gonna let them do this? Father God, you don't see that? But Deborah, it is finished. You see? It has to constantly, and he has to constantly say, this need be. Because it is finished. So the good thing is about it is to hear Stefan Durbin break down the CERN in a way that makes a lot of revelation more clear of the fact that you're going to have to see what Revelation said in the natural. And he said something that I thought was really unique, because I feel the same way, that you're going to be tried. That thing is going to bring you to the level you're going to be tried. And that's something else a lot of people are not caring about. They don't think that, hey, no, let them see it. Let them see it. They can see it, and I can see it in spirit, as long as it don't come near me. But it is going to. It's not going to be the prophecies. It's not just meant for those that are in the spirit, but for them to see this thing in the natural while they live and feel it. And it's not for everybody else to not feel it, because it's going to be felt, and it is being felt, even as I speak. And I'm like saying, if I can feel this and I can speak this based on the spiritual realm, but yet I can feel this thing, and then I get on here and be trying to bring it forth in a way that I'm feeling it both ways, knowing that the spirit got it in control, but yet I'm explaining it and expressing it the way I'm feeling this thing. So it's just like he was saying, you know, the whole idea of it is that those, and he mentioned the same thing about it's not for everybody. It's not given to everyone to see it and to know it. And it is so 100. And it makes you fall back in line when y'all say, Deborah, this need be. This need be. It is finished. It's over, because it take you back to understanding that it's nothing you can go into it and change. You can't preach that thing. You can't teach that thing. You can't reveal that thing. You can't stand on a mountain and proclaim that thing. You can't do nothing. Only one is able to see it is those that Yah has allowed and suffered to see it. And what I was shocked about is that for him to have said what he said all that time, and for his wife to come back and try to take his spot, and then put a lock on what he have said to where no one else can expound on it. She lost with the cause and without. She knew that he did not just lose his life, y'all. Now, Yah is the key to life and death. And that might have been the shut off for him in Yah. Ain't no might. It had to be, because they couldn't have took him out unless that's what Yah had planned. But he said a mouthful. He said more than enough to where this sister stand up and say, well, wait a minute. If you came out like that, Stefan Derby, what, and wait a minute, and you didn't have those around you that caught it, why is it I'm catching it? Why is it I'm catching it? A lot of people would catch it as a study guide, or he said this, he said that. But you got to be able to catch both realms of what he's saying. He's saying something in the spirit. is allowing the things in the natural to be revealed. But see, they are not seeing it. They either seeing it only in the natural, or they only seeing it in the spirit, and can't piece it together both ways to say that's the prophecy. That's where that come from. Because if you think now, if they created the CERN, and it is to constantly keep going down, to release those that are down below to come up. Even when you go into Revelation chapter 9, a star come down from heaven with the keys to the bottomless pit, open it up, and then locust comes out. Okay, locust comes out. This is the same CERN that they are using down in the bottomless pit, you guys. You see what I'm saying? So when I'm sitting here watching these things, and I'm seeing how can these people just kill, no feeling, no, how is this going on? Did you do? Yes, I did release something. You're feeling it in the natural, but the spirit done released it already. Even the four horses. We're looking at it in the spiritual realm, not understanding it's set up for man. And I don't mean male, but I mean humans, to bring forth the prophecy in an order of orchestrating what the Father has already given them to be able to do what they are doing. Same thing with cloning and all of that. They can't just know how to do that. Come on now, y'all. Because I know cloning don't come with the breath of life and a spirit, okay? But who gives them the ability to know how? You still got to go to the kingdom, because all the works of the wicked is still going to be walked out according to the prophecy. That's what he meant in Proverbs 16 and verse 4. I created evil and wicked. And it says, yea, for the days of evil and wicked. So he's telling you right there. And then I began to think about what Durbin said about them using CERN, and how they heard the voices down there, and that they did open up. They did open up. While the world's sitting around here talking about Obama and Trump and all this crazy mess, these sort of things are being taken place. What did Sister Deborah said in the last 2 days? Something going on, y'all. Something been released. Didn't I say that? I said something done been released. Woo, what it is, I don't know, y'all. He ain't give me the fullness, but something done been released. And then the other day I said something done happened. Something is happening, you guys. See, because I'm feeling it in the natural, because the spiritual realm has suffered me to be able to feel it in the spirit. Okay, where the Ruach reside, and know what? Something gonna happen. Something is happening. Something been let loose, Deborah. And I'm like saying to the Father, but I feel that thing. I feel it. So I come here thinking, okay, I tell the people on YouTube, wait a minute, I'm feeling that thing. Something is happening, y'all. Something is going on. And then all of a sudden today, I'm listening to Stefan Derby, and he began to talk about the CERN. And I'm like, wait a minute. Hold up. That which is called CERN is matching some things in Revelation as far as the bottomless pit. What's going on? You see what I'm saying? In me, I say they just trying to mimic it. They just trying to mimic what is the prophecy. Then you think about all these movies they done made. Then you hear all these people saying, yeah, they telling us right in our face what's going to happen. They get the power to know. It's over. It's finished. Y'all had orchestrated it before the foundation of the world. This is what he mean. I am Alpha and Omega. I am the beginning and the end. I rumble all in the line from A to Z. How you like me now? See, and we keep looking at one another and looking at the world and the powers that be that we see and believe, but we are not looking at the unseen and yet believing in it. But Sister Deborah is a living witness. Going back to that flesh, I'm a living testimony, not a dead prophet, but a living one. I feel that thing. And I did not know what it was or what was actually taking place. You see, and he was speaking of it 9 years ago about the CERN and how they're opening it up. and they letting little out at a time. And I'm like saying, wait a minute. The other day I was feeling something has been let loose. Something has been let loose. Why would I just get on here and just think of something let loose? Something like, something is loose. Something has been let loose. Just like the other day, I sat there and I looked at my video. I said, wait a minute, what is this here? Boy, something is happening. That was such a heavy feeling on me, you guys. That was a heavy feeling on me. Something has happened. I don't know what it is. And you know what? By everything is finished, people are not going to grip what you're saying. They're not going to embrace it because everybody is basing their lives on what they see and believe. Sister Deborah is not like that, because I know that everything that was, is, and shall be was spiritual before it was. So I look to the spiritual realm first and foremost. You see, but if I have to be on the spiritual end and then feeling this in the natural, you better stand down. I mean, this thing is real. You see, and that makes a whole lot of sense to me, more so than ever. I understand why it's finished and why it is over. Because we're down here, what you call clowning, waiting to see so we can believe. When this thing ain't gonna come by, you see it. It's by you hearing the unseen speaks to you about the seen. And when you don't have that type of connection, then you just out here and you don't know if you're coming and going. Just like him. I look at him and I said, well, why did he have to? He began to tell me how many prophets you knew that left out of here. And they had truth that I gave them to go tell the people. But then they had to get out of it. Yes. So you got to go back to the spiritual realm and say, okay, this is your order. But what part did the world have in it? They played the part to make sure he out. But he had to, because he had completed the will of the Father as far as giving you all the information that you all needed to pick up on the natural side by the strength of the spiritual side and run with it and continue to bring it to manifest it. But what they do is people wants to stay on the outer man, because they figure if I don't see it, I don't believe it. I got to see this to believe it. That's the person that is born of the flesh. But he that is born of the spirit don't have to see it to believe it. But when he is blessed to not only see it in the spirit realm and feel it in the natural, you are truly, truly, truly the blessed ones of the Most High God. Because it's not meant to just know it from the spiritual level. It's meant for you to feel that thing, see that thing, talk about that thing, express that thing. And that's what this man was doing. It's nothing else. I said, when I listened to that, I said, you know what? It's nothing else he could probably even say. Because what he just dropped, 99 point, every Negro on the United States didn't get. Now one of them got it. Now one could get it. Now one of them got it. Because you have to be able to know the spiritual realm to grip what he was saying in the natural. And what he was saying in the natural, he was revealing everybody that has something with the power that bees. He was telling out on them and what they were doing to the point of how they were doing it. But then I'm over here like saying, wait a minute, now hold up, brother. What about over here in Revelation? Sound like that? That sound like CERN over there. What's the connection? What are they trying to do? Mimic? No. Don't forget, the one that created evil and good, evil and wicked, for the day of evil and wicked. Y'all still got his hand in it. He's still ruling. So anybody in the live chat, let me see who might have any questions. Yeah, he broke it down. What you say is definitely in there. I know it is. And I was in my mind, I'm trying to piece it together and saying, could it be actually, I mean, they putting polluting in pollution, or not pollution, but something in the air in a sense. But the more I thought, I'm like, okay, I know these things are happening. I know I ain't the only one seeing it. I know I ain't the only one feeling it. But to just hear him from 9 years ago, it brought a different kind of closure. That okay, it's this is what I've been telling you all the time, Deborah. It is what it is. These things need be. Mm-hmm. Thank you, thank you. And you are so right. Hearts are wax cold. I like that. I love that because that's how I feel. That's just how I feel. I feel like things are just at a point where it's just going to remain hard. The people in the church, that's another sad one. That's another sad situation. Sure, right. Yeah. I think I've heard him more when he has passed away than when he was living. I never really, but I like what he is saying. Now, if I had to be in his air on his side, I would go for about 95. I really would. But yeah, she did. She did. She put a lock on it. Like, say, for instance, if you are a teacher or you are or a scholar or somebody that can use what he said and they place it and then expound on what he said, because as time go on, knowledge is increased. She locked it to where you can't anybody pull on it in any way, and she is somewhere they contact her, and she goes in it as a copywriter or something like that, some old legal, instead of what he said should have been out freely. It should have been just freely out for everybody, and anybody, because you his wife. You can't take what he said. Who was it for? Was it for you to ban it? Or, and someone said it's for her, she makes money from it, that's why. I said, well, maybe so. Yep, he did. He broke it down. So Sister Deborah, I hope each and every last one of you got something out of it. I guess I go in this garage. A neighbor came over and said, "When do you have another one of those blenders?" I said, "I have to go in the garage and I have to look around," which I know I do have it. I just didn't want to go right then and there, and go way in the back, y'all. It's a lot of stuff. I got to do some work and pull her out a blender. But I hope you all got something out of it, because them going, I don't think, honestly, I know you really didn't get really what the whole message is about. It's like almost saying it's over, it's finished. What they have created, which is CERN, and it's going to play the role of opening up and allowing something to come out, in which we are looking at it a different way. And it's going to they still going to have their hand in how they are orchestrating how these prophecies is going to come forth, is what they also have been given the technology to be able to bring those things forth as it is written in the prophecy. Because if you really want to think, one example was the two witnesses. The two witnesses were to come, and remember, the whole world was going to be afraid of them. Everybody was going to be afraid of them. But yet, they are going to, they can bring fire down. They had this power, But somewhere that which came from the bottomless pit came up and dealt with them, destroyed them, killed them. Now, who allowed that which coming out? I'm gonna give you. I'm trying to give y'all a little example where I'm coming from a little bit. Who allowed those two prophets to come on the scene and have that type of power, and the whole world is afraid of them, but yet let something from the bottomless pit, comes up and destroy them? As if whatever it is coming from the bottomless pit has more power, you see, than they had. Nope. It was that whatever it was. Now, what could have happened, I would have thought, if they would have just fell dead, you see, and left there for the 3 days. If they would have just fell dead. Why does it have to let you know that something from the bottomless pit is going to come up to take their lives? You get the point. I know y'all, it's went over your head, y'all done missed it, but that's the point I'm trying to say to you all when I'm talking about the message that he was speaking of, and how the role of the CERN is going to play in the prophecies of Revelation. Already started. So when I woke up the other day and trying to figure out, well, what's this here? And they kept saying something has been released. And that was like, what, three days ago, 4 days. And I kept feeling that, and it kept saying it to me. So I decided to make a video. So when they said release, now I understand why these things are actually happening. It makes more sense. Okay. It just makes so much sense, like it makes sense when the two prophets come, how they gonna have this certain awesome power, and they are the prophets that's gonna come, which is gonna be called witness, but yet they're gonna lose their lives, not from the people in the world, but from that which coming from the bottomless pit. You get what I'm saying? That's going to take their lives, and that's gonna be it. But it's going to fulfill what Yah had prophesied. So I'm thinking this thing that they have is going to play a role in many things that's taking place, just as you saw that COVID thing. I mean, if you really saw it, it was like, to me, it was like something fake in the movies. They was taking people out the hospital, stacking them up in coolers, dead. And then they said some people weren't even dead. They still stacked them in there because they had it. I don't know if that's true or not. But just imagine, you saw out the side of the hospital. I don't know if y'all saw it. I saw it. The freezers they had for the bodies. And they were just taking bodies out that don't even sound real. But you got to go back to Revelation and look at the 4 horses that was released. One of them was death. You see, y'all, I'm telling y'all, we're missing it all, because it makes more sense to me, because like I said, it's 2 realms. It's the spiritual realm and the natural. And when you're in the right realm with the Most High Yah, he would suffer you to see the realm of the natural. You see, he would allow you to feel that thing so you can talk about it, so you can speak on it, so you can let someone know that, look, this is the one that rules it all. And that's what I have done throughout my time. Letting y'all know he breaks down things in twos. He pours everything from the kingdom in twos. And it all, no matter if it's on the left or the right, both of them goes his way. Okay, I look at that as his right-hand power. He rules it all. He controls it all. So even listening to this man here, and I think I said, well, okay, Father, you allowed them to create this thing. This man was talking about it once. They had to have had it for quite some time. You see what I'm saying? And now, from what he was saying 9 years ago, they have opened it up, and they have heard screaming and hollering and pain, people in agony and pain. I'm like, okay, that's what I heard when I was 16, that the construction workers was building, and they was, see, so that shows you they were still working on it way back when I was 16. You see, they was trying to figure out how they was going to get down there. But I know several people died going down there because the heat. and they turned the microphone down. They decided to build this certain microphone, this thing where you can hear the voices, and they video record it, and they showed it. They let everybody hear it on the it was on the news. I think it was on somewhere because I heard it. They was letting you hear it, the sounds in this hole in which they were digging, and that was years and years ago. I was 16. So that's how far they've been building on this CERN, probably way before then. So they didn't dig enough to know what they know today. See? And we still chasing the things in which we see to believe. And knowing that the things which are spirit, if they have to come first spirit, which everything do, when we in some trouble, if we think it's about us seeing it in the natural, we in a heap of trouble, because seeing it in the spirit is not the same as seeing it in the natural. A lot of people couldn't even handle it in the natural, what the spirit has prepared to take place in this day and time. But I, Sister Deborah, say unto you, I appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in, and I hope you got something out of it. I, Sister Deborah, must go out in this garage and hunt down for a blender. And the little lady came to she had to be like 80 something. Yeah, Deborah, do you have a blender? And I just can't say no. I just got to get out in the garage, go all the way back. I had to take my phone too, so I won't fall or something happened, and then I'm out in that garage. So I, Sister Deborah, appreciate each and every last one of you all in the live chat, and I will be back. Shalom and shalom.